Okay. I hope this thing is working properly. I've got another video here, man, concerning this satanic, the former satanic leader. Satanic leader. Who's God, who's revealing the plans for 2027 concerning religion. To those who are into religion, concerning religion. Let's just listen to the video, then I'm gonna comment, because I think it's a 5 minutes video, 5 minutes long. Let's try to listen. You just have to listen and think. And when you are watching this, ask yourself if you didn't see this coming. I mean, if you're not that person who's ignorant and stereotyped and who's like a horse wearing claps. You see these claps on the side of a horse. Focus on the Bible only. Don't look elsewhere. Then you didn't see this coming. But if you read the Bible as a book, not as a God, it's a book, and when you read, you start to listen and look around, then you will say you saw this coming. Let's watch this.
The current agenda that's kind of active or being pushed until 2027 before it gets reviewed again, has a point on it about Christianity and churches, and it says, divided they will fall, united they will stand, but divided they will fall. And you can look at this recording in 2027, what I'm saying now. There's going to be a summit on world religion, and they're going to get 20 representatives of each religion, of each world religion to come together and say why their religion, firstly, what it stands for and why it should be considered. From that 20 Christian leaders that's going to be summoned, not one of them will agree on what the true gospel of Jesus Christ is. Therefore, it will not be considered, because they will say you can't even agree on what your religion is. So Christianity will become illegal. It will become illegal to advertise services on buildings. It will be illegal to preach the gospel in public. It will be illegal to pray in public because of that. And it's because of this division that is happening. And Satanists who are pushing this satanic agenda are very much aware of this.
Crazy. So what you're telling me right now is this is in the playbooks right now. This is the ball is rolling on this.
Yes. Because remember,
involved, the Satanic Church is involved.
Because remember, just over 3 years ago, I was involved in Satanism. I was the leader of a satanic organization. I saw this satanic agenda with my own eyes. I was in meetings discussing the satanic agenda with other satanic organizations around the world. So every 9 years it gets updated. So I'm just aware of the one that's being pushed now up to 2027. I don't know what the agenda is after that, but what I've seen with my own eyes and the online conferences that I've been in with other satanic leaders, this is what's going on at the moment. When I left Satanism in May 2022, when I left Satanism, I said, and I have a recording of it, I said that in 2025, people will be arrested on the street for praying for other people. People will be prosecuted for being Christians in Europe. I said it because I saw it on the agenda. It wasn't a prophecy or that I saw the future. It was because I knew what was on the agenda. And people thought I was insane. So I'm saying today that in 2027, there's going to be a one world religion that will be the acceptable and the only religion around the world that will be legal, and it's not going to be Christianity.
You heard that. It's not going to be Christianity. It's not going to be Christianity. Let's just think, let's just think. One world religion. I think people are not ignorant. They saw this coming. And probably, you know that Roman Catholic is on top of everything. They run the show. So they're building the temple. They're bringing the worship of the bull back. So in other words, this guy is gonna say that they're gonna invite delegates of different kinds of religions. When you go there, like denominations, I think that is what he meant, because if it's different kind of religion, there's no way you're going to agree in the same doctrine. But if it's different denominations, you're going to disagree in same doctrine but different practices. But the idea is to confuse them. Because once they're confused, they don't agree on anything. They'll say, you want Christianity and yet you can't agree on anything. So this is what we're proposing to you. Then you will be forced to take whatever religion is coming. Those who are religious. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual, because I don't have to be told who to worship, where to look for God, because I know God is in me. You see, as an African, whenever you speak of your spiritual being, your spiritual self, it's something that is part of you. You were born with. If you speak of your ancestral spirit, because everybody has got an ancestor. That is why the Bible has got lineage, different lineage. There's no intervention and stuff because of the bloodline, the lineage. So it's something that is in me. I don't worship idols, which means I don't look outside. If I go to church, while you are singing, praising Jesus or whatever, God or whatever, the one I look at is me. It's in me. It's the divine within. It's the light within who gives me life. That is the one I look at. You see, our mentality needs to change. This is why these African spiritualists, the people that are practicing this ubungoma or inyanga, those kind of things. Spiritually, whenever you speak of something that is spiritual, it's inside, it's in them. So only inside, everything begins from inside. Every creation begins from inside. Whenever you want to create a car, it started inside. So whenever you want to commit a crime, it starts from heaven, which is inside. Everything starts inside. There's no God out there. There's none. We created everything, actually. I mean, from the Bible, we created it. From religion, it's man-made. Spiritual, on the other hand, it's something different, because it's something that is in you. You did not create it. It's in you. You were born with it. It is life. Without it, you're dead. We create everything. We created the war between light and darkness. We created everything. And yet we don't acknowledge it. We don't understand it. So I'm not spiritual. This is not going to affect me. If it's something that, if it's something that I'm supposed to be scared, I'm not going to be scared about this. Because why? I've been living in Africa. I know how witchcraft is a thing in Africa. There are people who practice witchcraft. There are people who practice that witchcraft. You see? So if it's some sort of Satan and demons and what, that's a Christian thing. We talk about real thing here. It's a Christian thing. Nobody has ever seen a Satan physical. Because why? For you to see Satan physical, you have to that spirit of darkness needs to possess someone. Or for you to see God physically, that spirit of God, it has to be functioning through someone, which we all have. We all possess all these two spirits. It's a war between light and darkness. Even the earth itself, it possesses these two spirits, which is the light, which is the day, which is the day which the Son of God walks for 12 hours, and night, which is the darkness, which also passes for 12 hours. So it's something you cannot run away from. You can't run away. It's like the fight between your spiritual self and your physical self. You can't avoid that. It's there. It is naturally there. You cannot avoid. So whenever the Bible, like what the Bible, when it speaks of death, it is not speaking about anybody dead, like dying and you get buried. The Bible is a spiritual book. So therefore, when you read it, when it speaks of death, it speaks of spiritual death. When you die, you spiritually you are dead, because the flesh does not have life. Only whenever the flesh starts to desire, which means spiritually you are dead. Whenever the spirit is alive, when that is when you start to listen to your divine self, then you should know the physical listen to the command of the spirit. That means physically you crucified yourself. You crucified every desire, every envy, everything. You crucified it. Then your spiritual self raised. Then you became the Christ, who's always inside you. You just choose to ignore, because the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 11, it says Christ dwells in barbarians, hooligans. So you might argue and say, it's not gonna happen. Usually when things happen in the States, in America, people they tend to say the world is gonna face this, the world is gonna face that. Even though it doesn't affect Africa, the world is gonna face this. If it happens in Europe, the world is gonna face this, the world is gonna face that. If now recently there's a conflict between the United States, how they like to bully other countries, and Iran. Apparently Russia and China, they are always putting their nose. So if those countries fight, they are going to tell you is the Third World War. Third World War. I don't know. It's a world war. Why is it a world war whereas it does not affect us? Because to them, we are still colonized. We are part of them. So whether they are fighting there, we are also fighting here, even though we are here. To them, we are just we are like what? A province or a reservoir of minerals, actually. We are a reservoir of minerals until African leaders, they start to grow, their hair, not that, hairs. They start to have a mind and use their mind and stop rushing to say open borders. You still have headless leaders. So back to the point of the day. Even if you boycott and say no, we don't want this, I promise you, you better stock those who are religious. You better go buy the Bible in pallets so that your children can learn that which they invented. You cannot open a case against them. You won't. It's like when the company that manufactures Grandpa, the Panado headache, the headache, powder, and say and say we discontinue this. We don't want to produce anymore. And you say no, we're going to open a case against these people. They invented it. So when Roman Catholic takes away Jesus, they are going to take away Jesus because it's the end of time, which means the end of worshipping religion of Jesus as the main guy is going to go. They are changing now to they are changing constellation. They are changing. Some they say during the time of biblically what was supposed to be, apparently, they say we were in a constellation of Pisces. Some they say in 2010 we entered in the constellation of Aquarius. Some they say no, it's still coming. The Israelites are trying to create the Jewish and Muslim, and they're making one world religion. And then they are going to bring back the bull worship. religion. They're going to bring that back. This is why they're going to bring representative of every religion. You see? Of every religion. They're going to bring representative of Islamic. You know, Islamic, there's two different ones, but they believe they're the same. Some believe in Muhammad, some, I don't know if Ali or something, I don't know. They believe that there's two divisions of they're divided. The Muslim, they're going to call them also. Christianity, it's a lot. They're going to call them also. Judaism. They will make one world religion. And you cannot open a case against them. Against who? They wrote the Bible. They gave you Jesus. So all they have to do to take him away. They will tell you, we invented the guy. You didn't. Because you believe in someone who died and say that person died and rose and died for you and rose again. He's coming back. Come 2027. You're going to realize that you're an African and you are a spiritual person, not a religious. Because the best way to control an African person, take their spiritual practice, belief and understanding, way of life, modify it, make it a religion. Tell them this, don't do this, don't do this, don't practice, it's evil, it's demonic, it's demonic, it's demonic. Give them the book. They will read it and defend it with their whole heart. You can steal diamonds and gold from them and oil from them. They will protect that book by their whole life. You can even kill their children. They don't care. They will even call their forefathers demons. As long as you gave them that book, they will defend it wholeheartedly. That is what happened. So, the story of the Bible is like a diamond or a gold that is taken in Africa, from Africa to Europe or to United States. They go and refine it and make nice necklace and nice watch, nice rings. They bring it back and sell it to you. And when you look at it, you are shocked. When you are shocked, you say, oh, it's bling bling, it's nice, it's expensive. You don't know that it's yours to begin with. You don't know that that is part of you. You don't. You see, if you want to, everything, an African person is the beginning of salvation. You want to control an African person, take away their spirituality. This is why whenever you are given the Bible, you fit into it. You fit the whole content of Africa. It's like you invented it. That is because part of it is yours. Part of it is theirs to control you. You created it. They took it away. They tried to destroy evidence wholeheartedly. They tried so hard. People died because of the Bible. They tried to destroy it. And they brought it back. They modified your religion. They wrote everything down. They modified it. The Bible was the Jewish translated the Bible and the King James translated. And this guy, William Tyndale wrote it. But that guy's reason is it was that when you read a religion, when you read about God, don't read through somebody's lens of eyes. Read it through an original language, which was Hebrew, that he was copying from. So he wanted everyone to read it as an original language says, not the King James Version. No. So this is what happened. They took the story from Egypt. They modified everything. They bring it back. They told you what to do, what not to do. Today, if you see me performing rituals to save my life, you say it's demonic. And yet the Bible baptizes people with water. That's a ritual too. You see? Today, whenever if you see me in the river, bathing or whatever it is there, or washing my feet, is demonic. Because you are told everything you practice is demonic. This one that we gave you, which is the Bible, is the only way. Don't you ask yourself, by the way, the Jewish that are in Israel now, they're not the real Jew. When people speak about this, you will think they're crazy. Until you stand up and try to look. Because you find Christians say, the Jews that are here in Israel now, that the chosen nation. It doesn't mean nothing anyway. So they say this, don't do this, it's evil. Don't do this, it's evil. Don't do this, it's demonic. Don't do this, it's demonic. Don't. As I speak to you, there are people who are preparing themselves to go to Israel, to go where Jesus was buried. And by the way, he was buried 2 or 3 places. 2 or 3 places. Because they want to make it a place of tourism. You tourist, when you go there, you go look and say it's a holy land, it's a holy land. Big lie. They're promoting it. 2 to 3 places Jesus was buried. Supposedly. So anyway, this is going to happen. Unfortunately for those who are religious, if we find you on the street calling in the name of Jesus, we're going to call the police for you. Because the law will say it's illegal. In South Africa, you don't want to be regulated. You want to be illegal. These traditional healers, they've got certificates for what they're doing. Do you know that? They are affiliated with some council of traditional healers. They've got certificates. Except the bogus ones, because there's always bogus ones. They've got certificates. But pastors, they don't have certificates. All they have is ring that they voodoo you with, all these rituals and all these things that they control your mind with. So when the government wants to protect you and say we have to register you so that we can regulate all these churches, you don't. You say no, it's attack on the body. The body of who? Whose body? No, it's an attack on Jesus' body. The end time is coming. Yes, you're right, the end time is coming. 2027. No more. Because it's not real. The Bible is not it's not a literal story. This is where the problem comes. It's not a literal story. When you sit down, you think a woman can fall pregnant by herself. You think so? A man, if you dare, you go to a grave, you will rise again. Can you walk on top of what? You can't. The whole world, nobody can walk on top of what? Are you telling me that you are so sinful in such a way that you can't do everything the Bible says he said? But he said, if you believe in me, you can do what I did and more. At the moment, you are not doing. All we are seeing that is tax evasion from other countries. Then you run to your countries. It's either that or you rape. You go to Zimbabwe and start raping. Or you go to South Africa, you start raping there in Cape Town. That is what you do. That is the miracle you are performing at the moment. They are using these ololo oils to drive your mind. And yet, you see people who are doing their own thing. They are praying. They are doing whatever they're doing, which is real. They're not hurting anyone. You have a problem with it. You're saying it's demonic. Or they've got churches in the bush. No, it's demonic. So you want them to leave that so that they can come and get raped. So the end of, the time for church is finished. The churches that I attend churches that are spiritual, are religious and spiritual. They practice African, they are part African actually. They just combine with the Bible, which I hope they do away with it, because I mean, the Bible is a spiritual book. It's not a religion where you're going to make people zombies. It's going to happen. It's going to go down. 2027. You can pray all you want, do whatever you want. They're going to introduce to you a new religion, a new guy to look at. This time he's not going to be dead and rose again. No, he's not. So, you know, if this, you can say, no, it's satanic. Satan is coming. I almost forgot about this. You see, as an African, I lived my whole life here in Africa and in South Africa and in Limpopo. I lived my whole life here. Yeah, well, I even traveled to other provinces, but I am here. There's witchcraft. I don't have to believe in it. It is. It's like when you don't believe in death, but you die anyway. There's witchcraft. So the idea of Satan coming, giving people religion, or whatever, one world religion, we don't even know whether it's bad or good or bad. One world religion, it doesn't scare me. But when it comes to Africa, the only demon and devil that came and destroyed everybody, leaving everybody suffering at the moment. You see all these Hollywood stars, you know, sacrificing their life for riches. These countries, these United States. By the way, United States is the headquarters of all these rituals. United States is the headquarters. They made a deal with whatever it is that gives them power. I can't say Satan. I've never seen Satan. It's the headquarters of all these things. That is why no film industry will ever be better than them, even though Bollywood is the largest, but United States, Hollywood will always rate it. But these years now, it's been losing power. Look, the point is, you cannot tell an African to be afraid of what's coming when it comes to religion, that Satan is coming. For Africa have been under the Satan umbrella like forever, since I was born. How do you know? Look at Africa at the moment today. The only successful people, because you say, no, we don't belong on this earth, we go to heaven. Heaven is a spiritual self, higher consciousness. When it comes to die, you will die and be buried just like everybody else, eaten by worms. Then you go to your ancestors. We're talking about real things here. People have been suffering. The only success, if you go to the Premier League now, this Betway Premier League, you'll find of a lot of soccer players they made deals with all these powers, you know, so that they can have a better life. You go to singers, even in Limpopo, there's a singer in Limpopo. That person is loved by many. Made a deal also. Some of them died, you know. Even all these politicians, they're wearing all these rings. All these people, especially, all of them, they're wearing all these rings. Some you call them Illuminati, some you call them, what do you call these, Freemasons. And the Bible is more connected to the Freemasons than you Christians. So, what is the point? The point is, since Jesus came into Africa, Africa has been poverty. He left his footprint here. He came with a ship, on a ship, as a ship. He took Africans to Europe, to the States. A ship called Jesus. Took them there. Left the footprint, which is called the Bible. The country, the continent, has been suffering ever since. You throw away all your spiritual practices. You cursed yourself. Now you cry about generational curses. You cursed yourself. The only Satan that Africans know is Jesus Christ, the religion leader. That religious leader. Africans know that he's the devil himself. He's the devil. Look at Africa. It's been suffering ever since. While they are building their continents, taking gold from you. Taking gold from you. I mean, to have God is to have power. As long as you have God it means you have power, which means in their way of defining God is gold, oil, and diamonds. That is God for you. Once you possess that, you have power. While they are building their countries and continent, you're preparing your way to go to heaven when you die. I mean, when you talk about the devil has been here since I was born. I found the devil here, in churches, in religion, controlling people. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Today, when you prophesy about stuff, they first look which church you go. If they find that you go to this Shembe church or Tap and Clap churches or the ZCC church, they say no, it's demonic. It must be biblical, because now you are zombies. You became zombies. Believe a book that is written by a man who was gay. You didn't know that, huh? King James. The book, it tells you that no rich man will enter the kingdom of heaven, but those royals there in England, they're the richest. You know, I don't know. Stupid is not the word. I don't know which word. I didn't want this video to be too long, but I'm starting to feel like I just have to dish out everything. You believe a book is God. You believe a book is God. That God is important than your father and your grandmother who passed away. Yes, beg your forefathers who raised you practicing the very same rituals so that you can grow and become who you are today. Today you grew up, you've got beards, you've got horns now. You went to school. You know how to speak with accent. Since you feel like you think you are special, you calling them demons. You see, some people, they say, no, I honor my ancestors. Yes, I honor them. I don't worship no one. I don't. There's no spirit outside that is going to help me inside. Everything is in me. I do read the Bible. I love the Bible. I understand the Bible, but it's a spiritual book, not a religious book. Those who are in religion, it's coming. The new religion for you is coming. Just wait there. They're bringing it, and they'll bring the new Bible too. Isaiah 45 verse 7, it says, I, the Lord your God, do all these things. Meaning dark. I create darkness, light, confusion, peace, calamity, all these things. He creates. Satan is a human being. God is a human being. We created all these things. There's no spirit that say, I'm God, I'm creating myself. We created all these things. We even wrote the book, the Bible. Now you are praying it. You are worshiping it. If I tell you today that no, the reason you've got you are not married, even today you still give your mother money instead of you getting married, it's because she did this and that and that. You say, no, it's evil, this. It's not biblical. It was made by man. King James is not a Holy Spirit. Foolish is not the word. You give the whole new meaning, my brother, my sister. You give the whole new meaning. It's like you are hallucinating. You speak of end times, rapture. Do you know how many of you, if I can point you with a gun and say, do you want to die? Will you say yes? Rapture. You must go read the Bible and understand and listen. There's part of African teachings inside the Bible. Maybe you will understand it. Maybe. Because you are so stupid, it's like you can commit suicide for the sake of making sure that the rapture happens. You see, Christians, the way they are very dangerous. They speak about rapture, they even put the date. Had you had any idea, or you knew how to make a bomb or a nuclear that will annihilate everyone, you are going to make it to make sure that your prophecy becomes true. Because Christians, whenever you do something, you read the Bible, You do exactly the same. They call it its prophecy fulfilled. Just like Jesus when he was being baptized by John. Jesus says, no, you must baptize me so that the prophecy can be fulfilled. Huh? Prophecy fulfilled. I don't know. So you are dangerous people. You put in rapture day. Soon you are going to murder yourself. If you convince people to sell their positions, because tomorrow is the end of the days or whatever you want to call it, Jesus is going to rapture you. Soon you will make sure it happens. You are going to make sure it happens by killing people. You are dangerous. You deserve a new religion. Come on, new religion. They need to get new religion, these people. Being spiritual, it's up to me. If I hurt your feelings, I will feel it too. I'll feel guilty. Come apologize. Everything is good between me and you. You understand? If I see a dog passing by, I don't have to pick stone and start chasing it. I feel bad. It's an animal. Don't you think? Do you think those animals don't communicate? They do communicate, by the way. The fact that you don't understand that doesn't mean they don't communicate. You don't understand what Chinese says, and yet you still respect whatever sound they are making, because to you they are communicating just because they are human beings like you. When animals do that, you don't think they communicate. Anyway, new religion is coming. Are you ready? You better stock the Bible in pallets, because the Bible is going to be irrelevant. Your Christian is going to be relevant. I mean, you don't even want to be registered, so you are not protected. The government is not going to protect you, because you must even be taxed. I mean, other churches are paying tax. You have to be taxed because the church is a business. It's a business. You are opening a business. They are giving you money, isn't it? So you must give back to the government. The Bible says, give to Caesar what is Caesar, give to God what is God. Peace.